Hello, in the following video we will see the Shopify Translate and Adapt app. This application will let us translate for free the content in our Shopify store. It supports both manual translations and auto translations by leveraging Google Translate, as you can see over here. Although the latter is only supported for up to 2 languages. So without further ado, let's get started. For this, I have this development Shopify store over here, and the first thing we need to do is to install the app. So in the search bar over here, we can look for Translate and Adapt, and we find it over here. So we click on this link and it opens the Shopify App Store. We can see that the app is completely free and it is made by Shopify. So we are just going to click here on install and select the store. In this case, it already knows that I want to install it in this store and we can see the app over here. So I am going to pin it to the navigation and now let's start seeing what the app can do. So this is a list of all of the different resources that we can translate. You can see that we can translate collections, products, blog posts, blog titles, and plenty of other things. If we click on any of these things, like products over here, we can see after this brief introduction telling us what they can do and from different places we can access it. We are able to see all of the different products in the store, and we can see here the reference, so the original text, and then on the right side we can see the column with the language we are translating to. In this case, we are also translating to English, although in the international version, which might differ from the default version of English you have in your store. We can see over here this list of products and we can navigate to the different pages of products. But the most interesting part of this app is to translate to a different language. So let's do that. For this, I'll click here and click on Manage over here for managing the languages. We can see that this store only has English as its default language, but over here we can add another language. So let's try adding French like this and setting this. We can see that the language is unpublished, so the customers cannot see this yet, and we can leave it like this until we are ready to publish this when the translations are all ready. If we click on these three dots over here, we can see that we can publish the language, preview it so we can see how the translations are looking like, or remove the language altogether. We can close this for now, and now let's go back to the app, and we can click on Products over here. And at the top, I can go back here and select French. And we can see here that we can edit this text box. It is empty by default, so if it is empty, then it will use this value. But if we add any value over here, then Shopify will use what we type here when the customer visits the store in French. In this case, I don't know the translation of gift card in French, so I'm just going to type gift card in French as an example. We will use the auto-translate button later to add the proper translation. But now, let's go back and let's see how this looks like in the store. So from here, I will click on Manage. And from the unpublished languages, let's click on the three dots for French and click on Preview. We can see over here how the URL looks like. It is just the URL for my store, adding an FR at the end. And then over here, we can see that some things are already translated. For example, in this dropdown, we can see that the name of the country is translated already to French. And some other strings in the page are also translated. For example, the value of this badge is translated, and the text below the product title over here is also translated. But the thing we can looking for over here is the name of this product. Gift card in French is translated. And if I click on this product in the product page as well, I can see that it says gift card in French. And so you can see that this only applies to the French store. Over here, if I remove this FR in the URL, we can see that it just says gift card as this is the default product title. Now, you may be wondering why some things are translated by default while others are not. For example, you can see that the quantity label over here is translated, the label for this checkbox over here is translated, and the text of this button over here is translated. But the description of the product is not translated, the share label over here for this button is not translated, and this title over here for this section is also not translated. So generally speaking, if it is content that you, as the owner of the store, have entered yourself, then it will not be translated by default. If it is content that came with your theme, then it is likely to already be translated, although that is not necessarily the case for every theme or every language in every theme. In this case, I am using done, and you can see that the text came with the theme is translated by default to French. So that is why we can see that the quantity label over here is already translated. For text like this share label over here, or this you may also like title over here, these are coming from the theme editor. So over here, you can see that if I click on this share block, this is where this text is controlled from. And over here in related products, this you may also like text is coming from this setting. We are still able to translate this, and for that, I will go to the Translate and Adapt app, and over here, I will look for templates. And in the product template over here, we can see this shared text, and this you may also like text, and over here we can translate it. So let's do share translation, and let's save this. And you can see that if I refresh this page now, we will have to wait a little. And after about a minute now, if I refresh the page, you can see that this short translation text is here now. Now, all of this is good, but what if you don't really know the language you are trying to translate your store to? In that case, you can use the auto-translate button over here. So if I click on this, you're going to see that I'm about to use one of the automatic free translations that I have. I have about 2 of those for free, and if we go to this disclaimer here, as mentioned earlier, we are using Google Translate for this. So let's translate. That will take a moment. And after that, we're going to see that all of this content here is now translated to French, except for the title, because I translated this manually. However, if I delete this, save, and then click on Auto Translate again, we are going to see that after a moment, the title will be also populated to its correct translation in French. We see that over here. So now, if I refresh this page here, we are going to see the correct translation for all of the information for this product. But something to keep in mind is that when we use auto-translate, this auto-translate the content as it is right now. But if you edit the content for this product, it will not be automatically translated. You will have to come here and click on this button again. Let's see that in action. For example, if I open this product in the admin and add a bit more text to the description. So for example, this is some additional text, and save this. Then if I go back here, we can see that after refreshing the page, the text on the right stayed the same, but over here on the left I have this is some additional text. To get this to update, I will have to click on Auto Translate and wait a moment. And now the text is correctly translated. Something to consider when using this Auto Translate button from here is that it is only translating the information for the product we are seeing over here. So if I click on another product, such as this one, we are going to see that its French column is pretty much empty. The reason for that is because I have not used the auto-translate button on this product yet. You can imagine how that will take a lot of time to do that manually for every single product in the store. So what we can do instead is exit from this screen over here. From the home screen of the Translate and Adapt app, make sure we are switching to the language we want to translate to. In this case, I will click on French. And now I can click on Auto Translate. That will translate all of the content for the store. It will take significantly longer than when we clicked on the button for a single product, so that is why that button is there. If you just want to translate a single product because let's say you updated the information for only one product, then you can use the button for translating a single product. But if you want to translate everything, then it is better to do it from here. So I will click on this button. We are going to see a similar message, and I will click on translate, and you're going to see that that will take a moment, and Shopify will send you a notification to your email once that is done. And after waiting some time, which will depend on how much content you have in your store, you will see a message like this. Now let's go back to the store and we can preview how that looks like. So for example, if I go to the home page, we can see that now the menu over here is translated. The text of this image banner section is translated, this button, and pretty much everything else we can see is translated. If we go to any product over here, such as this one, we can see that its title is now translated. And the text here remains with translation that I manually entered earlier in the video because using auto-translate will not override manual translations. So there you have it. This is how you can use the Translate and Adapt app to make the content of your store work in different languages. If you found this video helpful, remember to like and subscribe for more Shopify-related content, and I will see you all in the next one.